I was just so full of emotion and of pride. When we were at that Ruby Roundtable on Sunday, you the leaders that were there that showed up, it was phenomenal. We got some great guidance from Dan, from Bishop Dan, and also the input from the Rubies, letting us know what the field needs, sharing with us concerns, sharing encouragement. That message that Bishop Dan delivered to the Ruby Roundtable this weekend, it's just still sitting with me. And so there's a part where he said, you can't rent your business and expect homeowner results.
Wow.
Okay. You gotta own your business. That hit me like a ton of bricks because he was snatching edges and excuses. All right. It was too many people want the title of business owner, but they're still operating like they're visiting their business, like they're observing someone else's business, but not owning it. See, ownership is a mindset even before you have the position of owner. Kayaetta, what do you think about that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I definitely agree. Ownership means making it happen, right? If it's going to grow, then it's on me, right?
Yep.
It's on me. If it's going to shift, it starts with me, right? So if something needs to be fixed, right, I'm responsible for fixing it first, right? What am I going to do about what's broken? What needs to be shifted? There's no blaming the team or the upline or the company or circumstances.
Wow. It's because renters call the landlord when something is broken. But owners,
Hmm.
they roll up their sleeves and they go to work. They invest, they protect, they maintain, they upgrade because it's theirs. Your business only thrives when you treat it like something you own, not something you're temporarily trying out. And I just want to reiterate, and those of you that were at the Ruby Roundtable, you remember when Dan said this. He said, if when you're talking to your downline, a customer, or a stranger, and in your conversation you say they, them, those instead of me, mine, and our, you're not in. You don't own your business. If you're
Hmm.
throwing off on the company, the team, like you're not a part of it, then you aren't. Kayaetta?
Wow. Wow. That's
That
That's
was
powerful
powerful, right?
right there, Kathy. That is powerful. That's facts. And ownership, it doesn't mean doing it alone. Right? It doesn't mean, hey, this is my ball, I'm gonna go in my own corner and do my own thing because I'm owning this, right? And that's not what it means. Ownership means taking the initiative. And think about it. It's the difference between saying, hey, nobody showed up to my call, right? Versus let me improve the invitation and the follow up and value so more people show up next time.
Wow.
Right? It's that mindset. I was talking to someone yesterday, in a consulting a position that I do, and they're doing a big event, and they said, well, we shy away from QR codes. And I said, "What? Why?" And they said, "Oh, the QR codes just didn't work. We had 400 people register with the QR code, and hardly any of them showed up." And Kathy, I was looking like kind of crazy. Some people say I can't hide my face, what I'm thinking on my face, but I was thinking, what? Right? Because leadership, starts from the top. It starts from the head. So you have to take ownership in that. I know plenty of businesses, plenty of, especially entrepreneurs who use QR codes, right? We use QR codes, so
Right.
we know that they work. No, it wasn't the QR code that didn't work. Tell me about your follow up. Tell me about your market. Tell me about, that the first thing you want to do is take ownership and say, hey, all right, what could we do better? What can I do better? Not that you are completely ignoring that nobody showed up. That was the result of the efforts you put in. And so I definitely agree with that, with the initiative. What you think, Kathy?
I love that because when you do the things like improve, follow up, and value, you end up showing up like Terry Anderson did at the Battle of the Blood Types. See, everybody had the
Yeah.
opportunity to have guests there, but what Terry did is that her actions meant that she had 18 guests. You know what that means?
Wow.
You know what that means, Kaya? That means that she didn't invite 18 people. She didn't
Right.
follow up with 18 people.
Uh-uh.
Okay, we
Uh-uh.
understand that it's the numbers, and
That's
so
right.
ownership is a mature business leadership. It requires honesty, accountability, and consistency. And ownership forces you to look in the mirror and ask, if everyone on my team did what I did this week, would we be growing or shrinking? Oops, I didn't mean to hit you in the jaw, y'all.
Oh,
Sorry, not sorry.
oh, drop the mic right there.
Sorry,
Did
not
you
sorry.
just say if everyone on my team did what I did this week, would we be growing or shrinking?
Yes, I did.
Wow. Ouch. Ouch. So that I believe that that's the real test, right? That's the
Mm.
real test. And when you think about it, people are watching you, right? So what you do for your business and what you do for the person that's leading you, what you do for your company, the people that's following you is going to do that for you. And so you have to show up. That's not an option. So the real test is, are we growing or shrinking if the people that I'm leading model me? So owners model the behavior they want duplicated. If I want it done, I got to do it first, right? And
Right.
they outwork their excuses. They outwork their excuses, right? And some of us just take away any room for excuses. I be looking like, oh my goodness, I don't have any excuse. I got to go get it done. And so owners create culture. Owners create culture. They don't wait for culture. When I step in a room, I'm not waiting. I'm creating, right? And they don't operate based on mood. They operate based on mission. What's your purpose? What's your mission? Because if you don't know that, you're going to be operating in your emotions, right?
Mm.
You got to get up when you don't feel like it. What you think, Kathy?
I mean, I think you're right on point. That's why Bishop Dan said, if you want your business to pay you like a business, you got to treat it like one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Ownership looks like setting a work schedule. When you work a job, they set a schedule for you to show up to work, right? And so when you own a business, you got to set the same schedule because the work doesn't get done as an owner until you do it. When a person owns a business and you work for them, try not doing the job they hired you for and see whether or not your paycheck reflects the job. Okay. Showing up even when you don't feel like it. See, you can't do that on a job. You don't feel like going to work. Oh, you might be able to call in 1 or 2 times, but that's not getting ready to be a habit. All right. Dan just talked yesterday about a guy who kept calling out, who shows up late, and then he had to make a business decision and release him because that's not conducive to the business growing. It makes the business shrink. You also, as an owner, have to reinvest in your growth. That means that you got to
Yeah.
keep your supplies going. Because if you're at the grocery store and you're talking to somebody about how awesome pain cream is, and you're talking to somebody about how wonderful the bitters is, and they say, you know what, I've heard about bitters. I'd like to get you. Have any of that on you, and you have nothing on you? What? Why don't you carry it with you? It's so damn great, right? And then ownership looks like tracking results. Data viewer is where you live. You got to know your numbers. If you have a goal of 500 CV and you don't know where you're at, how you going to get there?
Mm-hmm.
What's your strategy, right? And then ownership looks like leading by example, as Kayaetta said.
Absolutely. And I love when he added, God can't bless what you won't take responsibility for. God can't bless what you won't take responsibility for. So if we keep handling our business, based on our circumstances, we're basically saying we aren't ready for elevation. We're not ready for elevation.
Not ready. Ownership unlocks favor, ideas, opportunity, and people. Once you take true ownership, God starts sending the resources because he knows you're ready to steward them. Ooh,
Wow.
That's why they tell you that if you're living in a house and you want a bigger house, but you're not taking care of the house you got, why are you expecting more?
Uh-huh.
Why are you expecting a mansion when you're not taking care of the hovel? What's up?
He's not going to give it to you.
Right.
He's going to give it to you when you're ready, right? All right, so I got a question for you, Kathy.
What's up?
What do you feel changes in someone's business the moment they shift to true ownership?
I think everything changes. I mean, their language changes, their posture changes, their consistency changes, their confidence changes, and other people around you can feel the difference. See, ownership is magnetic. Why do you think we're so drawn to Melissa? Because she is an owner and she owns her responsibility as CEO. We can see it in her action. We hear it in her commitment. We see it in her stamina, right? And so people are drawn to leaders who clearly run their business, not leaders who are trying a business. It's okay to hop around to other companies. Just know that the people that are watching you are seeing that you're not consistent with now one of. Just saying.
Right. and when you and no one's saying that you can't expand your platform, but you shouldn't be hopping around. You should be building, right? So if I'm in left land, right, when I leave left land to go to right land, right, I'm not leaving left land. I'm still building on left land, right? Or I'm taking what I built. Like you can't. Some people are just like, what did you accomplish over there? What did you accomplish over here? Right? You definitely want to grow, but ownership comes when you say, hey, listen, this is my purpose. This is my calling. This is my why. And then this is what I am going to do in order to get it, no matter what. No matter what. It reminds me of a quote that Dr. Miles Monroe, he used to always say this. He used to say, when you discover your purpose, you become responsible for manifesting it. You become responsible for manifesting it. It's not, Kathy, it's not your responsibility to manifest my destiny or my purpose, right? My rewards, right? It's on me, right? So ownership is stewardship over your divine assignment. What has God called you to do? See, your business is surrounded by your purpose and your why, right? It should be. It's not that you're just selling products, but you're changing lives with the products that God has put in your hands, with the information, the education that God has put in your hands, with the people that He has connected you to carry you through. So, what you think about that, Kathy?
Well, I say amen to that. Amen. The ones who embrace ownership now will be the ones walking the stage later.
That's right.
We just have to keep this energy flowing through the team. It is time to elevate from participant And some of you are participants. You watching, waiting to see what's going to happen. You may not be excited about your business, but what are you doing? It's your business. You're watching and waiting for what? Are you watching and waiting for the company to do more? Well, my goodness, those of you that attended this weekend, you got to know. And I know you know. Corporate did everything that you needed, and those that owned their business did great. I got to give it up again for the A's. My God, they showed up and showed out. Terry Anderson, he won for being the one that had the most guests and the most sales. See, it equaled. See, she had the most guests and she had the most sales. That's not rocket surgery. It ain't rocket
formulation.
All right, all right. It ain't brain science. It ain't rocket surgery. Okay, it's work. So I want you to elevate from participant to owner.
And Kathy, can I say this?
Yes,
I
please.
just want to close out my comments with this. Ownership is the birthplace of transformation.
What? Wow.
Ownership is the birthplace. It's the birthplace of transformation. So the moment you stop waiting for someone else to rescue you, it's the moment you start leading your own revolution.
Wow. I think that's a mic drop moment. Go ahead, Kayaetta, and tell them about what happens on Wednesday.
Absolutely. On Wednesday, we call it the Elevation Wednesday, the Elevation Experience at the Wellness Lounge, located at 411 East 35th Street. That will be at 1 p.m. today, where you can bring down your people who you know, love, and care about, and allow them to hear the amazing presentation of the importance of knowing your blood type, the 5 key reasons why heart disease, cancer, diabetes, and a shortened life is affecting our community, and the 5 key generational wealth instructions that you can do to change things around for you. They can find out their blood type, and they can get a comprehensive health screening, as well as a product or a program that will take them to the next level in their health. That will happen today at 1 p.m.
Well, awesome. Listen, rebounding is after this. Knowing that this is the 5th of the month. Okay, y'all saw how fast October went, right? This is the 5th of November. This is a huge month for Akana. You know that Black Friday is coming. Pre-Black Friday specials are going to be coming as well. But you are an owner of your business. And now is the time to begin talking about those Christmas gifts, those packages for your customers, for them to give the gift of health. Now is the time to think about your friends' giving events. All of those are opportunities for you to share the mission and help people with their health, wealth, legacy, and freedom. So with that said, Kayaetta, this has been a joy again to share some nuggets with the crowd. And I just appreciate you for all you do.
Appreciate you and the Akana Nation. Bye for now.
All right. Bye for now. See you next time. Y'all have an Akana kind of day.